June 26, 2026. 62626. Let's go over the setups that happened today. We had a very interesting market open today. This is NASDAQ. We have the daily momentum right here, and we have the 1 hour momentum right here. We have the 15-minute momentum, the 5-minute momentum, and finally the execution time frame, either a 1 minute or a 2-minute chart. Depends how you're feeling. Depends who you are and how you're feeling. I prefer 2-minute execution time frame, but I use the 1 minute execution time frame when volatility is extremely high. So like in the beginning of the market, and sometimes during the middle of the market, there will be volatility events where the volatility increases. Then I might switch back down to a 1 minute. Either way, here's the market open. These orange lines are the 15-minute opening range, and we have some critical levels marked off here. But either way, we're just going to play through the price action and look at when does the first momentum alignment occur? When do we have a strong, healthy alignment between the 15, the 5, and the execution time frame? Especially if we can get the fourth one in there. If we can align all of those with the 1 hour, that is a fractal 4 alignment. Very powerful. So let's look at this. We get this 15-minute opening range by these orange lines. This 15-minute opening range forms, and then we really consolidate in this range for a while, for about 30 minutes. And then what do you see? A fat, huge buying candle penetrating the opening range. We're rejecting off of what level? The previous day's low. We're consolidating that previous day's low. Consolidating 30 minutes. Boom. Explosion. Breaking right through this range. So right off the bat, that is look, I'm not going to judge you if you take that entry. Is it my entry? Is it my strategy? No. But wow, what a good entry that would be, right? You can see where that's going. So we're going to go forward now. We have a nice run up. And then the setup comes into effect right here. What is the setup? Well, we have a 15-minute going to the upside. We have a 5-minute going to the upside at this time. And then what happens? The momentum realigns to the upside. That is the entry. So I did take this trade. I did take the trade, and I ran away at break even for no reason. I ran away, and it would have been a win. So if you put the stop loss at the candle's base, price action never came down to the base, and it did achieve a 1-to-1 right there. So that was a good win, even though I took a break even. I took a scratch. Then we had another setup right here. Why is that a setup? Well, the 5-minute extended, 15-minute extended. Then we have a realignment. Not aligned, not aligned, not aligned. Okay, now it's aligned. And this would have been a loss because the price action definitely did not continue upward for a 1-to-1. And that would have been a loss right here. Did I take this trade? I did. And I exited early because I had a feeling this was going to be a loser. So instead of taking the full loss, which would have hit right here, I exited about here. So that's a skill in and of itself when you can begin to start to see the signs of, yeah, this doesn't look like a trade that's going to normally work out. You can cut it early and potentially save yourself a lot of losses. And what does that do to your overall expectancy if you take 1,000 trades? What do you think that does to your overall expectancy if you take 3,000 trades? It can change everything. Any way you can reduce losses, any way you can extend winners, that is something to pay attention to. Now, one warning sign against this trade right here, one warning sign, is how overextended the 5-minute MACD is, okay? We're in high range, it's very overextended. That's one warning sign. With that setup, that did result in a loss. And same thing goes with this prior one. That was a win. This one, we were in very overextended 5-minute momentum range. So if we're in extremes, extreme lows and extreme highs, you want to be careful because that means that you're probably going to have a reversal soon, some sort of reversion, which we ended up having here. And then a further reversion back, cooling off of the buying pressure, cooling off. And then right around here, something magical begins to happen. The 5-minute momentum begins to realign with what? The higher time frame. 1 hour going up, 15-minute going up. The 5-minute is now realigning. And we're, you know, when you get everything in alignment, when you get all of these time frames in alignment, that's when you have a very asymmetrical distribution of probabilities. This is now realigning to the upside, so we're waiting for that to conclude, and it concludes. Now we know momentum has in fact shifted. Now what are we doing? We're waiting for another cool off and realignment. That's what we're waiting for at this very point in time. And sure enough, that's what happened right here. That was my next trade. I was at the entry because we realigned to the upside right there. Good win. Very good win. Next one occurs right here. Why is this a valid one? Because the 5 minute is still carrying that upward momentum alignment. We have a cooling off. We have a realignment. That is a wonderful set of trades right there that you could have captured. And let's go forward. Forward in time. 15 minutes now going to be selling off. 5 minute is not supporting us anymore, so we're not taking any trades. We're only taking trades if it's aligned. So the next time the 5 minute aligns to the upside is right here. Now the 5 minute is aligning to the upside. It's not really going steadily. It's kind of tapering. It's very weak. And our 15 minute is selling off. See how the momentum is tapering down? So we've got a lot of signals to just not take trades right now. Even here, when the 5 minute did eventually reach the green, 5 minute had been working up, reaches the green. This would have been an entry on a 1 minute time frame, and that would have been a loss. And at this point in the day, I'm definitely using a 2 minute time frame if we're late in the day. And the entry would have been here. See how it realigns to the upside? And that would have been a win. That definitely would have been a win. Would it have? Close? Yeah. Just barely was a win. Absolutely. This one right here, would this have been a win on a 2 minute execution time frame? Wow, just barely as well. I was looking at the 1 minute time frame with you for the good part of that session there, and the 1 minute time frame was more forgiving. You know, definitely more forgiving. More. These were all wins for sure. The 2 minute time frame, they could have been wins. They could have been losses. Unless you reduce it to a negative RR, like maybe take profit at 0.8 instead of a 1-to-1, you get a little bit less than a 1-to-1, then they would have been wins. This for sure would have been a loss, and this for sure you want to avoid as well, just because all of these you definitely want to avoid. Why? Because the 15 isn't even going with you anymore. The 15 is dying off. The 15 should at least be holding steady, right? So these are just signs to not even trade any of this stuff, because literally from this point forward, right here, from this point forward, the 15 is doing what? It's tapering off. 5 minute is not even in the green, nor is it close. But you could have found some opportunities, yes, specifically on a 1 minute chart. All right, going forward, we have a 15 minute crossover that's about to occur, and the 5 is already in the red. 5 is grinding down in the red. Look at how precise these alignment channels can be sometimes. Look at this. Look at this. Very precise. It's kind of crazy and uncanny how precise these things get, and this is no exception. In here, could we have found a trade? Is there an alignment between the 15, the 5, and the execution time frame, the 2 minute? Yeah, and it happens. It's about to happen right here. 5 holding steady in the red, supporting. 15 has crossed over in the red. What do you see here? A realignment. And there was other entries in here as well. There was many trades in here that you could have taken. I took a few of these myself. Some wins, some losses, but either way, a lot more wins than losses, that's for sure. And if you're trading a 1-to-1 system, then even a 55% win rate leads to magnificent things. That was all of the alignments that occurred today. This was the final alignment channel that did occur. After this, 5 was in the green, so we have no alignment really. A violent week. Very violent week. Right before I end this video, we're going to just look at the week, because we had a lot of things happen this week. It was not an ordinary week. We're going to look at a 30-minute chart without the night market. Where is the beginning of the week? The beginning of the week is the 22nd, which is going to be right here at that crossover. Yeah. that region right there. I say it was violent, but it looks pretty calm. But either way, you can see what's going on. We're definitely in a down. We're experiencing this selling pressure now, and a lot of volatility. We're going to see what happens next week, and what we know coming right into Monday, though, Sunday evening for futures market, but for sure Monday morning. What we know is what we see right here. What do you see? Volume building, momentum holding. This is going down. I'm not saying when it's going down or how it's going down, but the downward moves that occur on Monday will be more vicious than the upward moves. They're going to be much more regular, just because of the overall inherent selling momentum. If we have a continuation, it's just going to be so easy to catch those things. You have to be ready for it. With all of that being said, I will see you in the next one.